Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so it's a couple things I wanted to talk about right before the Laker game. Nothing too serious. The game starts in like 5 minutes, so I ain't got that long to talk. But as you guys probably already know, no Bron tonight. No big deal. That's not going to be news for anybody who's watching my video. What would be news is LeBron actually coming out there and suiting up. I don't, I don't anticipate that happening. But a part of me was wondering if he was trying to throw the Denver Nuggets off by telling everybody he wasn't playing in this game and then showing up in the last minute. Uh, just a thought I had. Probably not going to happen, but and it's not something I'm hoping he'll do or anything like that. I just wonder if it was something that was happening. Uh, for me, him not playing this game, maybe it speaks to an injury. Maybe it speaks to him trying to send a message. Uh, I think he tried to. I think he might have been trying to send a message in the last game he missed and we won. Kind of didn't drive the point home. But I think what he's trying to say, if he's trying to say anything at all, is that y'all can't beat certain teams without me. Now, y'all was able to beat the Denver Nuggets without AD. Let's see if you're able to beat them without AD and me. And it's one of those situations where it's like, for the purpose of what it is he believes he is doing, I think it's a sacrifice he believes is worth making. Because if they go out there and drop this game, it'll put a little more pressure on them to be active in the trade market. He's already made a statement as of late, essentially, with the Sam Amick situation that everyone's talking about, where Sam has essentially quoted LeBron James in saying that, the Lakers know what the F is going on. They need to hurry up and do something, more or less. And that's me paraphrasing on the quote. But LeBron went back and clarified Sam Amick's statements or posts, rather, in regards to LeBron James, and essentially said, nah, I said that very calmly. We're on a 5-game winning streak. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Paraphrasing as always. So for me, that whole little exchange was, to me, and I'm a different type of thinker, but that reminded me of LeBron James' deleted tweet last week, where he was essentially, or not last week, whenever that was, last month at some point, where he was essentially saying, hey, yo, here are my thoughts in regards to a certain specific point, and I'm deleting that tweet. Oops, shouldn't have been out there. To me, the deleting of that tweet was just as important as the tweet itself. And in this case, I would not. I'm looking at the situation sort of like LeBron James is essentially doing this with Sam Amick to put the information out there that he thinks something should be done, but also retract that information, knowing that putting it out there as blatantly as he did was probably not the best thing for us in regards to our negotiations and leverage and things of that nature. He understands that, and he's trying to walk that line, so to speak, by using Sam in this way to say, hey, this is what it is. Oops, no, it's not. Sam, your fault. This is on you, Sam. No, it's not. You know it's not a Sam like that. But I get what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my little, like, 2 cents. It doesn't necessarily have to be what it is. It's just my speculation. That's what it looked like to me. And as a Laker fan, I don't know, man. I think LeBron James' point of view on player movement and how best to move players around and stuff like that, and the positions he puts teams in with his demands and the pressure of those demands, I think it really does get in the way of what it is he's trying to accomplish. Now, I'm not at a disagreeable point of view as to say, hey, in the moments where LeBron James said he wanted more should have been done, and would have been great for him to have more so that the teams could have been as good as he wanted to be. Right? So on the surface, you could say for sure, yes, LeBron James, if you get him this, and this, you can get him to be that, and that. But I've never felt that LeBron James was able to really effectively get what he wanted or ask for what he wanted without tearing stuff up in a way that made it very uncomfortable for front offices. And it seems like the Lakers are in that position again. And when you sign up to be, on a team with LeBron James, that is going to be what you're signing up for. And, that's just the dynamic. Now, me personally, I don't love that dynamic, and I've talked about that for a long time. I would much rather LeBron James just come without the demands and then let teams without the pressure of his demands kind of bring him what it is that they want him to have. And hopefully it'll be good enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would prefer. And then he could be a piece that's easier to build around. Because a lot of these players that he would have wanted to play with, or rather wouldn't have wanted to play with, he probably could have won with. some of the guys that he wanted traded, or some of the guys that ultimately could have come to the team instead of people that he wanted, I think he could have won with them players too. So it's just one of those situations where it's like, maybe if you would let the GM have a little more flexibility, maybe your path would have been a little easier with some of these franchises, instead of putting so much pressure on them to be good in the moment and then leaving yourself in a position to not be as good later on. That's what it always is for him. I don't think he really seems to understand this is where he goes wrong, where he ends up putting himself in a position to have these teammates in the first place that he wants to get rid of. And so this is what I want him to understand. I think he's starting to understand that, I guess, but it just seems to me that he still wants the Lakers to make a move that's going to further put them in a hole, and it just further puts us in a position to be frustrated, because our future matters to us just as much as anything else does. You know, we want our future to matter to him because we believe he wants to be a part of that future and is going to want certain things in that future. But it's more so about now for him, because every year is important. It's 2020, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, brother, if you understand what it takes to keep LeBron James, then being LeBron James, you would understand why it's important to not ask for so much. You know what I mean? Because if you were a real GM yourself, you would know how sensitive it is in terms of how hard it is to make moves. So little stuff like what he was doing with Sam, he would understand if there's a move to make, he probably locked it up. You know, if there was a move to make, he probably put an extra pick or something on it by just opening his mouth. And it's like the same thing we were saying about KD and his trade demand. Like, brother, you made it impossible to get it done. You might as well said, I want to stay here forever when you put out a trade demand, because that's the only thing you're going to be able to get accomplished. So it's like LeBron James, for him to want to be a GM, I really hope he gets a chance to do so, because he's going to understand how awful it is to have him as a player when you're trying to be a GM. And he's going to understand that. Here's something else I was thinking about before we go, because the game about to start, if it hasn't already. GMs don't talk very much. If you notice, you hear GMs, they may say one or two sentences all season long. They don't talk. Not just Rob Pelinka, all of them. When was the last time you heard most of GMs speak? The reason why that is because everything that comes out of their mouth can be used against them, just like a court of law. Any dang thing. They could say, I like this player, that's going to cost you more. You could say, oh, my guy had a little bit of an injury struggle last year. That's going to signal all the 29 GMs that that's somebody you value a little less. So next time you try to move him, I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to take your words and put extra stuff on the price tag because of those words. So you're never going to hear from GMs. You're not going to hear from owners very much either, because everything that comes out of their mouth is going to affect those negotiations. So LeBron James needs to understand this. If he ever tries to be a GM and he has a player like LeBron James demanding certain things, and then he can't move because of that player, he'll know why it's important he didn't do any of this. Then he'll know where he went wrong all these 20 years. I'm telling you, man, it's just not respecting the other guy's job enough to not necessarily do things that affect that job in negative ways. And that is the relationship between LeBron James and the GMs that he's been a part of. It's like, bro, you cannot want everything and want the maximum salary. You know what I'm saying? Because things have to be amended out of. And once you do certain things, you can't walk them back. And that's the problem with LeBron. He don't respect that at all. And that's the disconnect. He needs to start respecting the GM's position and learn it. It ain't as simple as slapping players together, my friend. You can hurt the job for thus hurting your team. No different than the coach putting the wrong players on the floor and then affecting everything. So too can the leader ruin everything by wanting too much and letting it be known to everybody else. BDF44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.